saying? Like, the banks determine, like, if you live in this area, they can determine what areas get resources and what don't. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, if you live in this area, you can't go to this school, because the banks determine a group of people live in this area, and this who go to this school, and this who deserve these resources. So therefore, if you live in this resource, we know what to give you. And if we could control your education, we could control what literature you take, because we know what you've been privy to. Like, and we know what's, you know, everything that you've been exposed to and what you haven't been exposed to. We can determine how far you're going to get. That's why when one person make it, especially a person of color, they always want to know, how did you make it? Because they understand it's a trap. We designed a system to trap you in, but you was one of the ones that got out. How did you do that? So we can come up with other things to make it even more harder. Just think about it. It's like,
that's why you gotta have degrees now to do anything.
That's why you have degrees. But what degrees do is, like, it's a piece of paper, and it take you away from using your hands, which most times you need. So it keeps you, you know, so you can go get degrees, psychology. How many people that you know run around somebody need a psychiatrist? So now you have to go fish for something. But if you can use your hands, auto mechanics, these things that we need, you know what I'm saying? Sounds like they like, think about it, they teaching kids in certain schools how to code and everything already, because they understand that's the wave of the future. But we getting left behind in that. And by the time we get to that, we already a generation behind, so they already know. We've been trained as being employees, but they've been motivated to be CEOs and business owners. So think about it. In school, every time you fuck up, they always tell you, don't do that because you're going to get a job. They never tell you that you can be the one giving jobs out there. They always tell you, they train you and condition you to only think as being an employee. And that's how we think, is, you know what I'm saying? We lack financial education, because they understand education is the root of all things. Slavery, everything is roots in financing. And that's the one thing as a collective we have been failed. That's why we consumers instead of producers. We have been taught to be consumers instead of producers. So we always look for others to do for what we need, and we really explain. That's why I say, you know what I'm saying, integration was the worst thing that happened from a financial standpoint, because they were so eager to go shop with these people and be around people, they stopped shopping with their neighbors and started. So therefore, we lost that. How did they live? How did our great-great-grandmas live better off working a simple job than we is now with all these degrees and everything? Because we can go to you and get a job. We can go to our cousin down the street and, you know, find houses, because we was forced to. But when integration came in, what we do? We run straight to them, give them all our money, and it's like we had to look at ourselves and we realized, like, we ain't in control of our own. We spend what, $6 billion useless cash a year on frivolous things that don't amount to nothing.
Section 8.
All that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother story. That's just eliminating the man, period. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, we already, so that's that, like, Miles Monroe.
But when you think about it, they say, like, in the Jewish neighborhood, before a dollar leave, it's like 6 months before a dollar even leave out that neighborhood. And like an Asian community, it's like 3 weeks. We're in the black community, it says 6 minutes. That's how long a dollar stay in the black community.
That's why I got all the stores in there.
We own. Everything we spend, we have to spend it with somebody else. And what do? They use that to build their own, you know what I'm saying, communities up. And what they do, their communities stand on our neck. So we finance our own oppression. That's crazy when you think about it. We finance our own oppression.
And what do black people do? Buy rims.
Buy rims. Goals, goofy shit.
All of us see goals worth something. The rims.
No, but I'm saying it's useless though, what I'm saying, because that right there is just everything we've been taught. We just been taught to be consumers, and, you know what I'm saying, instead of producers. See,
this where you got to kick that rich dad poor dad in. See, it ain't that the gold ain't worth nothing. It wasn't a good time to buy the gold. Yeah. You know, was it an asset or was it a liability? Was that money worth spending on it at that point in time? If you got it to do it, you could buy whatever the hell. If you got it to do it, you could buy whatever the hell you want to buy. That's what I tell people all the time.
That's the real currency right there.
What I spent on just fixing the front of my mouth from the police chip my tooth, man, fuck gold. This mouthpiece $600 right here, and it's cheap.
Well, most definitely. That's why I say, man, we got to do better with educating, which is financial education, man. That's where we lacking at. It's financial education. It's like, how do you use your money to work for you instead of you just slaving for money? That's the point where we got to get to.
Yeah. See? There y'all go. Y'all don't hear it from somebody else besides me. Y'all think I be talking. This shit real.
Definitely is.